Dorset and North Hampshire. Snow is still lying in parts of the region this evening, but elsewhere the thaw set in during the day. For a village near Salisbury, it brought particular problems. The residents of Pitton are trying to come to terms with the worst flooding for more than 30 years.
Few people in Pitton have memories of the last time the village flooded in 1961. And for many, this deluge of water in the village high street still holds a novelty value. But other residents are less lucky. Weeks of endless rain have caused the water table to rise relentlessly, eventually bubbling up and flowing into previously dry parts of the village. 4 homes are already inches deep in water, and many more have water lapping at the door. One couple, who have been forced to move out of their home until the floods subside, are angered by the lack of local authority action.
There's been no progress in actually shifting the water, no channels made to get rid of the water. I mean, we feel that something in 3 days ought to have happened on an emergency basis. We are in 1995 after all.
Southern Water spent the day delivering leaflets asking every household to cut back on wastewater because of pressure on village sewers. Meanwhile, villagers have rallied round to help neighbours in need.
The children thought it was great fun to start with. The novelty value of that started to wear off quite quickly. So we've farmed them out to their friends who live the dry side towards school, and they're being looked after them for the time being, which is very kind. In fact, the whole of the spirit of the community in general has been fantastic. We've had offers of help from all directions.
Salisbury District Council denies claims that it's been slow in taking action to ease the flooding.
We were out here on Tuesday when the flooding first started, and we sandbagged all the properties that we could that we thought were likely to be flooded. I had a consultant here yesterday who has examined the situation, and he gave me some advice, and what we've done this morning is we've stopped hopefully the water coming in at the top end of the village.
This is the centre of Pitton village. It's been completely submerged in floodwater for 3 days now. In places, that water is waist deep. What villagers are most worried about now is exactly what's going to happen when last night's snow begins to thaw. This is Sarah True in Pitton near Salisbury for Meridian Tonight.
Well, living in a village which was badly hit last year by the floods, I do sympathise, but if it's any consolation, it does get better eventually.
The wettest January and February in living memory has caused more than the usual problems for one village near Salisbury. Pressure on the water table has caused flooding in Pitton. With fears of a public health risk as the sewers are flooded, residents are bewildered by the slow response of the authorities.
In Pitton, they call it the Winterbourne. The water table rises so high, water breaks through the chalk to form a temporary stream. It hasn't happened in over 30 years, and local lore has it that it was unlikely to be seen again. Newer residents are said to be sceptical about it. Not anymore.
This is the first experience of anything like this at all, and it really has caught us rather unprepared. We never thought it would ever come right around the house.
For others, it's revived the spirit of the Blitz. Several households are billeted with obliging neighbours, but with floating floors, water gardens and more seriously flooded sewers, on day 4 after the deluge, some think the response of the authorities distinctly watery.
By this weekend, if nothing is done, another 4 houses will be flooded, including ours.
When are they going to do something about it? I mean, nothing has been done. And if it really wasn't for the goodwill and the help of all the villagers, I really don't know what we'd have done.
We haven't been told by anybody what's happening, what they're going to do about it and when. And that's really what we would all like to know.
The National Rivers Authority say it's not their responsibility, as it's not really a river. The Ministry of Agriculture said it was nothing to do with them and to contact the National Rivers Authority. The Wiltshire Fire Brigade said they can only respond to individual calls. Southern Water said it was not their responsibility, and it was up to Salisbury District Council to stop surface water entering their sewers. And it would help if people didn't flush their toilets. Salisbury District Council admit, yes, it is their responsibility. And their response? They've used up all their reserve sandbags and are now concentrating their attentions upstream.
There's no electricity, and 6 o'clock onwards with candles is a bit, might sound romantic, but not really.
Local lore also has it that the Winterbourne won't clear until May. For the villagers, that leaves plenty of water for the authorities to wash their hands in.
I spare a thought for the villagers of Pitton.